Okay, today is Thursday, November 14th, and today I learned to not give up, because today I was just feeling very, like last night and today I've just been very overwhelmed with all this stuff that I want to do and all the stuff that I need to do, and today I was just feeling so overwhelmed, but I wasn't doing anything about it. And then I would just get on my phone when I knew, I was literally thinking I could be doing something better right now, but then I wouldn't listen to that, and then I would just do what I wanted to do in that short-term moment. So I was just very frustrated with myself. I was working out, trying to, push myself really hard, but I just wasn't getting as many reps as I wanted, and it was just hard, and, I was just very frustrated with life, with I was very frustrated with all that I couldn't do, with everything that I couldn't do, and everything that I didn't have, all the characteristics of life that I didn't have, all the different kinds of abilities that I don't have. I was getting very overwhelmed with all the things that I didn't have and all the things that I needed to have. So as I was working out, I was thinking of a Bible verse that is very relatable kind of to my situation, and I think it'll be encouraging for you guys. It is Romans 7 verse 15 through 25. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I want to read a certain part of it. So I'm going to start, this is Romans 7, and I'm going to start in verse 15. For I do not understand my own actions. For I do not do what I want, but I do the very thing I hate. Now if I do what I do not want, I agree with the law, that it is good. So now it is no longer I who do it, but sin that dwells within me. For I know that nothing good dwells in me, that is, in my flesh. For I have the desire to do what is right, but not the ability to carry it out. For I do not do the good I want, but the evil I do not want is what I keep on doing. Now if I do what I do not want, it is no longer I who do it, but sin that dwells within me. So that was verses 15 through 20. And I was really just reminded of those verses in the moment as I was getting very frustrated and overwhelmed with all the stuff that all the stuff I didn't have and all the stuff that I kept doing. I kept scrolling on my phone. I keep procrastinating. I keep doing all these things. And I was just reminded of this verse, especially verse 15. I do not do what I want, but I do the very thing I hate. Right now I can say I hate scrolling. It is never beneficial for me. In the grand scheme of things that are actually important in life, scrolling is not good. And so I, in a way, hate it. But I do not do what I want. I don't do the things that are actually good for me, but I do what I hate, which is scrolling and wasting time and doing all that stuff. And then in verse 18 it says, for I have the desire to do what is right, but not the ability to carry it out. This is so relatable. We have the desire, I don't want to scroll. I want to be working on my school. I want to be working on my YouTube. I want to be working on whatever, but I don't have the ability to carry it out. And then down in verse 24, it says, wretched man that I am, who will deliver me from this body of death? Thanks be to God through Jesus Christ our Lord. So then, I myself serve the law of God with my mind, but with my flesh I serve the law of sin. So basically what he's saying is that we are stuck in this cycle of only doing the things that we know are wrong, even though we want to get out of it. And this is because of sin. Scrolling on your phone is not, down to its core, it's not necessarily a sin, but it can turn into a sin. For me, I feel like it has turned into a sin. Because I use it to procrastinate and I use it to not be productive, basically. And it literally says in the Bible, in Proverbs and stuff, it talks about how, the diligent man is rewarded and, all that kind of thing. So, at its core, it's not really sinning. But it's still, maybe I'm wrong, but I still feel like it applies to this. Like, we don't do what we want to do, and we do the things that we don't want to do. But then, this is all because of sin, right? But then he says, who will deliver me from this body of death? Thanks be to God through Jesus Christ our Lord. So, Jesus died to save us from that, to free us from that sin. And like, it goes back to like, I have the desire to do what is right, but not the ability to carry it out. So we can get that ability if we, back in verse 25, I myself serve the law of God with my mind, but with my flesh I serve the law of sin. So like, we need to flip the switch. We need to accept, like, we need to understand that Jesus died so that we wouldn't have to be bound by this sin, but so that we can follow him and actually do what is right. And that is what gives us the ability to do what is right. I don't know if that made sense, but for me, that was just very encouraging, because I was just very frustrated with all the things I needed to do and all the things that I keep doing even though I don't want to do them. And I was reminded of that verse, and it's just a very encouraging verse. So I encourage you to read Romans, like just in general read Romans, because it's really good. But that chapter, it's Romans 7, you can like understand the context around it and stuff. So I encourage you to do that on your own. But yeah, I was just, that was just very encouraging for me. And I realized something that I don't think about enough whenever I get overwhelmed and frustrated. And that is literally just to not give up. Because there is this quote that I have used, that I have thought about a lot when I'm in terms of my YouTube, which is not even just my YouTube, but the quote is like, you can't fail if you never stop. I think I have it on my wall somewhere here. Oh yeah, if you never stop, you can't lose. You can't fail if you never stop doing it. You like, just keep doing it. Don't stop. Don't give up. And that, I don't know, I don't think about that enough. Like, when I'm feeling, a lot of times when I'm feeling overwhelmed and frustrated, I put that off, kind of. Like, I put off that feeling and try to distract myself from something. Or like, when I'm feeling down and I'm feeling frustrated or whatever, and I will cut off my workout just because I'm tired or just because I feel like it. But like, don't give up. Don't give up on life. First of all, don't give up on life. Just because there are a lot of things to do, there is a purpose to each and every one of those things, and you've gotten out of it before, so you can get out of it now. So don't give up on life and all those things you have to do, even though it is overwhelming and like stressful. But also, like, don't give up on your dreams. Like, that is also something that I was trying to tell myself. Because I was getting very frustrated, not only with like all the school stuff that I had to do, but also I was thinking like, I need to be better with like my softball. And I was just feeling very discouraged. Like, yesterday and today, I was just feeling very discouraged, because I feel like sometimes I just feel like, oh, I can do this. And then sometimes I feel like, I can't do this. This is pointless. Like, I'm so bad. Like, what's even the point? But I have these dreams. Like, I have this dream to play in college. And that is a pretty far off dream. Like, that's not easy, right? It's not easy to do that kind of thing. But like, I just need to not give up and to keep doing what I'm doing and keep doing more better. So don't give up, honestly. Don't give up on life. Don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on what you do in life. Unless it's like genuinely bad for you. Like, give up on the things that are bad for you. Like, bad friends, you don't have to absolutely hate them and like completely cut them off, but you don't have to be influenced by them. Give up on the things that affect you negatively. Speaking of things that affect you negatively, I was thinking how I define productivity and how I want to be defining productivity for myself. And that is that productivity, being productive, is doing things that are good for you. Doing things that are ultimately beneficial to your mental, your physical, your spiritual, whatever. Doing things that are good for you. Because I feel like that is a better definition than just some arbitrary, like, did I get stuff done today? If you define productive as like the amount of things that you got done, which I feel like I subconsciously think that, I subconsciously define productivity as how much did I get done today, but I think I need to flip that to like what percentage of the things did I do today that were good for that like benefit me. Not in like a selfish way, but it's just like a general well-being way. Like doing school is good for me because it's making me smarter. Like it's helping my brain. Like I'm learning, I'm like adding information to my brain. I'm making more connections in my brain. I'm exercising my brain. And it also sets me up for the future. Like when I do school and I learn effectively and focus and I study effectively and focus and do my work, that sets me up for my future. Like when I go to college and stuff. Scrolling, on the other hand, there's literally no benefit to that except for my short-term brain. So you could say technically it's beneficial for you because your dopamine is getting released and that's good for your brain. Like your brain wants that, and that's what it wants to do. But in the long term, and honestly even in the short term, like watching these brain rot videos, wasting time that literally doesn't do anything for you. That's why I say like people will tell me like you don't have to worry so much about being productive. But I think their different definition of productive is different from my current definition of being productive, because I've been trying to think more of productiveness as being doing things that benefit you, not just doing a bunch of things that are like considered productive things. Like there are things in life that aren't necessarily considered, that most people might not consider productive things, but I would consider productive because they're genuinely good for you. Like cleaning your room I think cleaning your room is productive because it, like, you're cleaning your environment. It's good to just like relax and not use your brain. It sets you up for the future so that you don't have, like, when you study or when you do like deep focus, like you don't have distractions. Like that is a good thing to do. I'm gonna try to redefine productivity for myself as just trying to increase that percentage of things that I do every day that are good for me. So instead of scrolling, I'm reading. Instead of scrolling, I'm working on my Notion. Like those are good things. Like those are things that benefit me. And I'm not trying to be in like a selfish way, like only do things that benefit you, because that's not true. Like anything that glorifies God, I would say would be beneficial. Like maybe not beneficial to you, but just beneficial to your life. Does that make sense? Like not beneficial to you personally, not necessarily beneficial to your physical or mental or whatever, but maybe just like your life. So like what's beneficial to your life? Glorifying God is ultimately beneficial for your life because that's our goal. Like that's our mission. So like if you do something that helps with your mission, that's helping with your life. I don't know if that makes sense. So yeah, as I was thinking about like the definition of being productive, I was thinking like, why do I scroll? Because scrolling for me is like my biggest problem. Like it's been worse. It's not as bad as it used to be, but it's still there. And that's the main, like I think if I shave that down by like 90%, I will be in a much, much better place, because the things that I will be doing in replace of that time will be much better things. So I was thinking like, why do I scroll? Really, I only scroll because I want to not think about things. Like I want to relax my brain, which doesn't make sense because your brain isn't actually relaxing. It's like releasing dopamine. But for me, it's like relaxing because I'm not actively thinking about something substantial. I'm just like mindlessly like watching these videos or whatever. So that was my main reason. So I was literally thinking like, what are other ways that I can relax? Because most of the times when I'm scrolling, it's like in the break times. Like I had a class that ended at 3:30 and I was going to go work out at 4. So I had that 30-minute block of time where I literally could have done like, I could have made substantial progress on like my Notion, or I could have read my Bible, or I could have worked on my YouTube because I needed to like fix a thumbnail or something, or I could have worked on my Notion. Like there was a lot of things you can do within 30 minutes. Like 30 minutes is longer than you think. But then I was like, no, I want to relax. So I just sat on the couch and scrolled. But then I was literally thinking like, there are other ways to relax. I don't need to be, scrolling is not the only way to relax. Reading, I feel like for me at least is pretty relaxing. Even like solving a Rubik's Cube, I don't know. I actually haven't talked about this at all on this channel, but I used to be like really, really into like speed cubing or whatever. I used to be able to solve it in like 10 seconds or like 11 or 12. I don't do it that much anymore, but like this is something I can do to just relax because it's pretty mindless. I can just like do my thing. And if I have like a 15-minute break or a 10-minute break, like that is something I can do to relax instead of spending that 10 plus minutes, because scrolling could just be forever, honestly. Instead of doing that, I could just like do something like this, or I could read, or I could work on my Notion. There's so many other things. There's so many other better things that you can use to relax. Literally take a nap, bro. Like 5-minute power naps are more beneficial than you would think. Like sleeping is relaxation. Like, there's so many other better things you can do to relax. Because I feel like a lot of times when I open YouTube, I'm like, oh, I'm just relaxing. It's fine. But like, relax better. I don't know if that makes sense. These are kind of just the thoughts that were going through my mind as I was getting overwhelmed and trying to help with this overwhelm. I was in a bad mood, right? Like I was very frustrated with all of this overwhelm and with all these things I wanted to do and all this bad stuff about me. I was actually talking about this with my best friend yesterday, and we were talking about how you can use, even if you do have a negative mindset on things, you can still use a negative mindset for positive things. An example of this is like I was frustrated, right, with all this stuff while I was working out. And I was literally like, let me channel this energy. Let me channel this negative mindset, this negative energy to like push me to work harder. And I was like able to get more reps on that set because I was like thinking of like, I'm mad. So like, let me use that for good. I don't know if that makes sense, but like, basically you don't have to use your negative mindset for only negative things. Don't let that negative mindset affect everything else. Use it well. Like, use your negative mindset and either flip it and like turn it more positive, or use it to fuel you to do something. So like, when you think negatively and you're like, I'm not good enough, you can use that to motivate you and to fuel you. Like, that is ultimately that is what motivation is. Motivation is like, we don't have something and we want to achieve that. So that like motivation in and of itself is a negative, like that is using something negative for a positive action. That is what I learned today. I guess if you're feeling overwhelmed with life, if you're feeling frustrated with your life, and you are just realizing how much you don't have, how much you don't do, and all the things that you need to add in your life, don't give up. If you had to take away one thing from this video, then it would just be to not give up, because you can't fail if you don't stop. Other things that I'm trying to do to help with this frustration is to just is to redefine productivity and not beat myself up about how much I am doing every day, but rather what percentage of the things that I do every day are actually beneficial, and then just using this negativity for good. Like, when you feel frustrated, use that frustration for good. Like, I was feeling frustrated, and then I started like writing down all of my frustrations, and now I have all these notes for what I talked about in today's video. Like, I was able to use those negative thoughts for good. So that is what I learned today. If you liked this video, then definitely hit the like button, because that was really beneficial for my videos. If you want to see more, then definitely subscribe, because I am posting every single day talking about what I learned that day and how I'm trying to implement it into my life and how you guys can implement it into yours. So if you want to see those kinds of videos, then definitely subscribe. I'm trying to get 1,000 subscribers before 2025, so before the year ends. So I have about a month and a half to get, it's less than 100 subscribers, which is really exciting. It's really actually making me think that I can actually do this. So yeah, subscribe if you are not subscribed yet. This video is specifically recommended for you. So YouTube was like, this is a video they want to watch. So like, if that piques your interest, then definitely click on that video. You can subscribe in this corner. And if you want to see more, then subscribe. And if you subscribe, then I will see you in tomorrow's video. Bye.